Hello there. I just want to make another quick video. I won't keep it for long. I guess as the title suggests, this one's about recent events with the whole Trump rally thing and everything that seems to have gone down, the media coverage of it, the not so mainstream media coverage of it with Basil and Guns and Canary Cry. I want to show some clips. And so anyway, I mean, whatever, just going through my YouTube page here right now. This isn't really a normal video to be making because the last time this kind of thing happened was with Ronald Reagan. You know, I haven't seen this kind of level of intensity in the media in quite a long time, and frankly, I don't know. And I don't really know what to make of it other than just make this video. And moreover, as a Canadian, I don't even really know if it's my place to make this video. But after I saw the Facebook censor something, I thought maybe I have to make this video. I want to talk about this. And again, as a Canadian, I'm trying to be couth here. I'm not slamming on anybody who voted for Trump or didn't vote for Trump. I don't really have a dog in the fight. We got our own problems up here with Castro's bastard, Justin Trudeau. But I do know that this seems to be fulfilling some prophecies that are pretty sketchy. And then not only that, like I said, the censorship. Here we go here even. Just this on Facebook. Not that I trust this whole QAnon, named after what? The 7 Gnostic Sophia Anons of that religion? Or what? Anon Anonymous? The known CIA shill front group? Why would anyone want to name themselves after that? Either way, I don't trust them. But when Facebook censored this post, this 4chan drop, I thought maybe something's up. And then, you know, Instagram obviously as well. But yeah, breaking news. This post here, we'll get to it. Basil and Gons talk about it, and again, I want to show some clips. But I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know what to make of it. I don't really know what to make of any of this. But it seems to me like whatever crazy person decided to do his thing that day was seemingly, maybe, let off the leash to do it. And then I guess there's also the idea, the theory, that maybe this was an actual professional hit, that someone hired this guy. Like the JFK hit with hiring Carlos the Jackal, and all the different shooters that were there, and how Greer the driver ultimately got the kill shot, and, you know, Bill Cooper and all his work into that. Or recently seeing Sergeant Report talking about, was this guy just a patsy to cover up maybe, like I says, an actual hit or something? And if that's the case, who's the hitman? And then there's all the other media backlash going on. Celebrities freaking out about this, being rude people, average people. So many people just slamming and saying the rankest things, hoping the worst had happened. Like, come on, humans. Be human maybe, huh? Like this guy here even, different topic, saying, well, maybe it was divine intervention. Well, God's in control. God's always in control. But think about the guy who died, though. If it was divine intervention, wouldn't the gun just jam? And they nabbed him? But again, when I get to the clips here, it seems like it was an animal let off the leash. And then speaking of animals, oh, what's up with this photo shoot of Trump way back in like the 80s, claiming to be the dove that'll bring peace to the Middle East? Yeah, that's not weird or anything. That's not a cool prophecy to be a part of there, bud. I'm picking your nose there, bud. If you are the false prophet, I'm picking your nose. It might explain why the Pope got so mad at you and disbanded the Knights of Malta if he found out that you were taking his place. Are you Petrus Romanus? But as far as everyone's saying, this guy's the Antichrist, that guy's the Antichrist, the Bible says Apollyon out of the pit is the Antichrist. So, as far as Gon's even here, asking the question of whether he should repost his video, I don't know. I can't remember this video, but hour 41 it was. And so yeah, even over here on Instagram, I like this meme, like, it says it all. There's not much more to say. When people go on about something maybe being a staged psyop false flag, that doesn't mean people don't get hurt. Sometimes it just means it was set up, or psychopaths were let off the hook on purpose because they want to control the outcome. They want the panic, the chaos, the fear. They want the brutal police powers like 9/11 did. And I mean, come on, guys. I think we deserve better psyops at this point. But yeah, like I says, I just wanted to talk about this mainly because I found it weird, of all the things to censor, Facebook goes and censors the 4chan supposed Q-drop, Anon, Gnostic Anon, White Hat Luciferian Anon Q-drop. Like, come on, Facebook. This is getting so 1984 ridiculous. It drives me to drink. And at that, how about I play these clips that Basil and Gons showed, because I don't know, they're pretty interesting to me. The idea that if this doesn't prove that someone was let off the hook, then I don't know what, but you know.
Apologies if there's a bad word. I didn't.
Oh, I don't think there might be in the background, but I don't. Yeah. So here it is. This is from outside of the actual venue, I believe, or surrounding.
Someone who is standing near the building, and you know there was a lot of people around here standing near the building where the shooter was on the roof.
He was doing the job. I wouldn't even be doing this. I'd be at some beautiful places.
Right now, it's just kind of.
Pointing.
Oh, they're all pointing.
Maybe the Pacific.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there. Right there, see him? He's laying down. See him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
And son, I'm here with you fighting cartel to get a Senate.
What's happening?
And to make sure we take back the White House, because if we do, we're going to make America better than ever before. We're going to make it.
Yeah, look. There he is.
Because we have millions and millions of people in our country that shouldn't be here. Dangerous people. Criminals. We have criminals. We have drug dealers. We have people that should not be here.
Right on the roof.
It's much tougher than it happens.
He went right on the roof again.
You could see him so easily, and it's a low roof. It is not really a tall building. It's a low building. Somebody standing 50 feet away from the building can see the roof, see the guy laying there. It is so bizarre. I mean, God bless people having phones in moments like this, because this is the kind of stuff that would have changed the JFK conversation forever. The guy is there, and it's not even just that we see him there. We have people telling the cops, at least at the most conservative number, we have the cops telling or being told about this a minute and a half before the shots are fired at Trump.
Going straight to
we'll
6.
do 5 after that.
Okay, so this is the interview that was on BBC. The audio is not great on this. The version I had, I think I found one that was cleaner, but I didn't have time to clip it. But here is an interview. It's 2.5 minutes long. I mean, they just let this guy ramble. I think they edited part of it out.
Maybe don't need to do the whole 2 minutes, but let's let it play, and we'll play it by ear.
So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, but we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, and, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots rang out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? I mean, this is not a big place.
Did you see, I mean, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
It's incredibly shocking.
The guy was on the roof right there. You can see the white roof right there.
Did you get a look at him? Could you?
No, other than he was in muted colors, tan type clothing. We saw the rifle flinging around as he was trying to crawl. I mean, we saw the rifle, 100%.
Do you know?
Now,
right, that's the footage.
God bless the BBC.
Of the guy.
This was a BBC interview, and God bless America. This guy is wearing a Trump visor, a red Trump visor with fake Trump hair coming out of the top of it. Is a great look.
Do you think it's fake, or do you think it's real hair?
It's a product. It's a product. It's like a Trump visor with fake hair coming out of it, and I'm pretty sure he's drinking a beer at the same time. So you're welcome, Brits. This is America, baby. Yeah, and so this was known immediately after. I mean, this was the story. The story was that the cops and the Secret Service, they were being told. I mean, the fact of the matter is they knew about it before it happened. Whether they knew about it 10 minutes before or they knew about it 1.5 minutes before. They knew about it before it happened.
I think BlackRock has something to do with this way more than people are comfortable with. And maybe not out. The one thing, or any kind of shooters.
Republican when his dad brought him down to the voting booth or something, but his actions for the past at least 3 years show that he's more on the progressive Democrat side. And, honestly, I don't know what to believe about any of this identification stuff. You could do a deep dive on this guy. Information continues to come out. 20-year-old guy fits the FBI, 6-week cycle thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they seem to know who it was pretty quick, even before, running any biometrics or DNA. They were pretty quick to confirm that it was this guy. He fits the profile of an FBI 6-week cycle setup. 20 years old. He was bullied. He was an online sort of antisocial guy, bullied at school. The classic story. I'm just waiting for the moment where they're saying he was on lithium. There was also a strange story where they found an unidentified, what did they call it? They called it like an unidentified device in his car. And that's all they said about it. Said, the FBI found an unidentified strange device in his car and moved on. Okay, thank you, FBI. We've seen this before, and it fits the fits the MO pretty well.
Yeah, it's almost like too tailor-made for every time there's a bridge bombing plot that the FBI thwarted.
They had it ready.
They had, or any kind of shooters. They're always around the same age range. It's like the 18 to 23 range. They all seem to have these sort of MK Ultra-esque, if anyone's familiar with the MK Ultra history, mind control type of stuff, or a product of it of some kind, usually on SSRIs. So all that checks out. The one thing that was definitely extra weird, I guess. I mean, we're going to go down the rabbit trail on various things later in the show because there's a whole lot of symbolism and stuff like that. Weird. But there's something to be said about this individual and his history in TV ads and commercials. Did you know that this alleged shooter was in a BlackRock commercial
This is great.
in 2022.
This is great.
Can't make it
he's
up.
just
Can't make it up.
he's just a lone gunman, a bullied kid at
No,
school.
no.
You know, bullied kids are usually the ones who get picked to be in BlackRock commercials. Certainly wouldn't be some sort of deep state operator. No. It's the random kid at school who gets to be in the BlackRock commercial.
BlackRock is a financial giant. It's the largest investor on planet Earth.
Here's part of the commercial. This is a 27-second clip of the commercial from 2022. I will talk about where the alleged shooter appears in this ad.
Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and honors economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do.
And there's a caption here. BlackRock manages retirement plan assets for over a third of U.S. public school teachers.
I hope when I retire someday, they say that guy made this place a special place to come to school.
Okay, so it's real quick, but this is when he's sort of in the classroom. He's writing fiscal policy or something on the whiteboard, and then it cuts to a student. It's a student. He's just sitting there. He kind of is looking at his books, and then he looks up at the whiteboard. That's him.
To come to school and gave as much as he could to help the community.
Invested in the future of Americans. So yeah, that's the commercial. Now, some people have pointed out that in this commercial ad, there are some numbers in the background. And they're very interesting numbers, Basil. In the background, when it shows the student of the alleged shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, in this BlackRock ad, there is a jersey with the number 33 on the wall.
Yeah.
There's your first 33. And then the person sitting behind him has a shirt with 66 written on it. So people were pointing out the... There are a lot of 3s and 33s and 333s and all kinds of 3 stuff going on.
33 is the number of completion of the Great War.
So we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, the 33
stop there.
And the 66 in the background of the BlackRock ad that allegedly had that had the alleged shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, in it. So there's a little bit of weird stuff there for you. And isn't it... Why is it that they always have some history in, they're like always connected to, was on the FBI radar or had some kind of program that they're part of? I believe the parents were, I think they were psychologists, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, of course they would be. I mean, you got to have your MK Ultra handlers be psychologists.
Yeah, so there's always weird stuff going on.
But it's straight up deep state. I mean, it's BlackRock. It's the whole thing, the whole picture. Yeah.
Let's just do a couple Bible things here, and then we're really long today, which is fine. I knew it was going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, some biblical things.
It's got to be biblical.
First of all, it's been pointed out in the chat, but I want to mention it. Leviticus 8:23 says this, and he killed it. This is, I think, a ram. Yes, a sacrificial ram. And Moses took some of its blood and put it on the lobe of Aaron's right ear, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. So yes, this is part of the I believe it was the ritual, the ram ordination.
In so Leviticus they're saying that's 8. Trump is getting...
He's being ordained, yes.
Ordained.
Yeah. This is sort of his moment to be ordained with the blood. So that was an interesting passage. But of course, the one everybody, I think, got sent to me a bunch. And yeah. And of course, we've looked at these passages for a long time. And we'd even speculated about one of the heads having a mortal wound being a Trump assassination.
Yeah.
Assassination. I mean, it would be a full-on assassination at that. Right. If that was sort of the way we talked about it. But it says in verse 3, one of the heads of the beast appeared to be mortally wounded, but the mortal wound was healed, and the whole world marveled and followed the beast. They worshiped the dragon who had given authority to the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, "Who is like the beast? Who can wage war against it?"
Now,
and so you were pointing out something.
Yeah, just for some context. I mean, the Revelation 13 thing, we've been obviously referencing this for over a decade now. there's a lot of talk about, hey, is Trump the Antichrist? Is Trump the beast? There's a lot of twists and turns to this idea, but there's a lot of interesting comparisons, especially when it comes to how people treat Trump and how they consider Trump. It's an ongoing conversation. But this was an interesting point. Andrea F. sent in a, kind of a side-by-side of a few different translations. And I don't know. I don't think we really would hone in on this necessarily in maybe casual reference to this verse. I'm sure somebody's pointed it out before, but when you think of this verse, you don't really hone in on this one word, and that is, one of its heads seemed to have a mortal head wound, but its mortal wound was healed. Referencing that scripture, reading that scripture, I really never focused in on the word seemed. You say, oh yeah, then the beast, one of its heads has a head wound, and then the head wound is healed, and then you go, whoa, okay, what could that be? Could it be a Neuralink in the head? Could it be, somebody getting popped in the head, whatever it is? But one of its heads seemed to have a mortal head wound. It just seemed like he took a mortal head wound, and its mortal wound was healed.
Yes, it is interesting. I think the angle to that, and especially in the context of is Trump. Mm-hmm.
Is there a Mandela effect or something? I did not remember at all the word seemed being in there. Who had not reflected on the seemed part of that verse, which you wouldn't really notice until something happens like this, and you're like, oh, weird. It seems like he has a mortal head wound. I don't remember that word being in there even.
So in the translations, the Berean Standard Bible says appeared to have a mortal head wound, and I've done a deep dive on pretty much every single word of this chapter. So I think it's interesting that the word in the Greek is hos or hos, and it means as, like as, even as, when, since, as long as. So it had something as like a mortal head wound.
Yeah, King James Version, and I saw one of its heads as it were wounded to death.
Yeah. The part that I think is less convincing, though, is that the mortal wound was healed. And part of that healing, we come to find out later in chapter 13 here, that part of the healing process was something the second beast seemed to have facilitated, this healing. And that's what caused the whole world to marvel. So here's what I'll say. Elon Musk, almost immediately after this happened, publicly endorsed Trump's presidency, which is kind of a big deal for him to really come off the centrist type of thing going on.
And so, yeah, coming back from that, even the rest of my post here, looking at the ground, I mean, that's not a big distance. How did he miss? Or how did the one guy not see it? Or how did everybody not see it? Or they say that the police, it was team fail with the police and the ineptitude and just seemingly everyone dropping the ball, Okay, ineptitude is one thing. But what about this? The supposed shooter was in BlackRock commercials with numerology symbolism floating around there. And then, yeah, I noticed this even. I wanted to kind of maybe remake some of my older videos where I wasn't as composed or I wasn't as, fluid with the way I worded everything. Not that I use a script or anything. I typically just wing it, but still, I want to be narratively flowing when I try to talk about this stuff or whatever. And speaking of flowing narratives, doesn't that remind you of Iwo Jima just a little bit? So yeah, stop getting mad at people who claim something is staged. That doesn't mean people didn't get hurt. That doesn't mean we're not praying for people's families who lost someone. But that's what also got me thinking about tweeting with Basil and Gons again, just to finish up this video. The idea of Apollyon out of the pit, and I'll link some citations in the description section below, but even like tweeting with Basil and Gons here about this, and thinking, this kind of makes me want to make another video about who are the first and second beasts of Revelation, the 10 horns the world leader kings of the G10, United Nations. And then there's also this, like, I don't think he's the Antichrist. I think he might be the false prophet. But then there's all these other organizations. And at some point, the first power is going to hand over authority to the second power. And that second beast will be Apollyon out of the pit. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. There's also the topic of, when Satan falls, is the TV going to say an alien ship or an asteroid hitting Earth? And so how are they going to cover up Satan falling, the pit opening, and the Antichrist of Abaddon coming out? For some reason, the evidence seems to be screaming towards fake alien invasion. But as far as this whole topic, right now, people are worried about the Antichrist, but we haven't even had the image of the beast happen, much less the false prophet show up first to breathe life into the image of the beast. And yeah, maybe that is Trumpy poo here. I don't know. I don't want to bear false witness. I'm no prophet. I'm just a guy, an opinionated student who thought this was too weird to not make a video about. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. Shout out to Canary Cry News Talk. And prayers go out to all the people involved in this. That's hairy, being around gunfire, getting shot at, someone trying to kill you. I'd be lying if I said I haven't had people try to kill me, not like this or on this scale in any way, shape, or form, but I know what it's like to have people put guns in your face, and all I gotta say is prayers go out, and if anything, I hope I'm wrong, right? And yeah, peace out.